गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, in the last class I had just read out this fifth shloka of fifth adhyaya, and then I just explained the meaning. We have to read the bhashyam. I will just give a small recap. We read this shloka, yat sankhyaih prapyate jnana sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sapashyati. I explained this shloka broadly. Yah pashyati sapashyati means one who has this type of understanding. We should conclude that he is the man who has the right understanding. So that is the meaning of that. What does the shloka say? The shloka is basically saying that whatever ultimate goal is reached by the Sankhyas, that is the Jnana Nishtas, the people who are in the Jnana Nishta, whatever stage or whatever position they are going to attain at some point of time, the yogis also, that is the karma yogis also, they also attain that sthana. So you want to go to Delhi, you will go by flight. Today you just go to the airport and in 2 hours you will be in Delhi. So that is the Jnana Nishta. Otherwise you go to railway station, you get into a train and go after 24 hours. That is something called Yoga Nishta. Of course, it is a very, very simple example. That is not, the Yoga Nishta alone is not good enough. Along with Yoga Nishta, you have to do this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That of course, that component is very much there. Simple Yoga Nishta will not lead to that, even at a later stage. Simple Yoga Nishta can only lead to Chitta Shuddhi. Simple Yoga Nishta means simple Karma Yoga Nishta. So it is a sort of Aupacharika Prayoga. He is saying as a matter of compliment, okay, whatever position is attained by Sankhyas, by the people who are in the Jnana Nishta, it is also attained by people who are doing this Karma Yoga. In order to encourage Karma Yoga, in order to give a pat on the back of people who are doing Karma Yoga, Krishna is saying this. Let us read this bhashyam. Yaditi. Yat Sankhyaih Jnana Nishtaihi Sannyasibhihi Prapyate Sthanam Mokshakhyam Tad Yogairapi Jnana Praptyupayatvena Ishvare Samarpya Karmani Atmanah Phalam Anabhisandhaya Anutishtanti Ye Te Yoginaha Tairapi Paramarthajnana Sannyasa Prapti Dvarena Gamyate Ityabhiprayaha Ataha Ekam Sankhyam Yogam Cha Yah Pashyati Phalaikatvat Sa Samyak Pashyati Ityarthaha. So in one long line, Shankaracharya has explained the meaning, because the meaning also is quite simple. In the background of what all discussion has taken place already, the meaning is quite simple. Whatever position, yat Sankhyaihi Jnana Nishtaihi. Sankhya means we have to understand, we have to realize that he is a man who is in that Jnana Nishtha. What is that Jnanam? That is Samyak Jnanam. Samyak Jnanam is, I am not this body-mind complex. I am a witness. I am a witness to whatever is happening. Whatever all these Indriya Cheshtas, all the activities of the Indriyas, they just belong to the body-mind complex. I am only something which is just existence and consciousness. So that type of awareness, not merely at the level of head, but at the level, he has to have that aparoksha anubhuti, not merely a type of intellectual understanding of this, but then he has to feel it. He has to feel it always. So that is the type of, nishtha. Nishtha means nishchayena avasthanam. Stha dhatu. Stha means to stay. Nishchayena avasthanam is nishtha. That jnana nishtha, he is always in that state of awareness, that eternal state of awareness is there, that he is just nothing but existence and consciousness, and all activity which goes on around him is merely Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante, that shloka we are going to get. So just the Indriyas are just going about, it is all the activities do not belong to me, they belong to the body-mind complex. So that is the Jnana Nishtha. So that sort of Jnana, that person, he is the man who attains moksha. These are the people who are in that Jnana Nishtha, who attain moksha. And then, Yet Sankhyahi Jnanadishtaihi Sannyasibhihi. These people who are in this Jnanadishta, they also renounce Sannyasibhihi. Jnanadishta, Shankaracharya is very particular to say that those people who are in that Samyak Jnanadishta, they also have to take up sannyasa. That is one thing which Shankaracharya frequently mentions. So those sannyasis, they attain that particular sthanam called Mokshakhyam. Mokshakhyam means the thing which is called moksha, moksha akhyam. Mokshakhyam means that which is named moksha, that which is called moksha, that which is known as moksha. So that is it. Tat yogairapi jnana prapti upayatvena. And this yoga, the yoga means karma yoga, is a jnana prapti upaya. Upaya, we know. What is upaya? Upaya is a strategy. And that which you attain by using that upaya is called an upeya. There are two words, upaya and upeya. Upeya is that which you attain by using this upaya. And the upaya here is karma yoga. Upeyam is jnanam or jnananishta. So you are following this path so that you will graduate to the next level. The same example of a 10th class and intermediate. Unless you pass 10th class in a proper way, you can't go to say the intermediate. So something like that. So he has to do this karma yoga for the purpose of purification of his mind, and then along with that chitta shuddhi, he has to do some other extra things like shravana, manana, nididhyasana, and then graduate to the level of jnana nishtha. So that is the meaning. Jnana prapti upayatvena. Then what is that karma yoga? Again he is repeating. Ishvare samarpya karmani. Then he is dedicating his karma. Karmani is plural. Karma, karmani, karmani. All the activities he is dedicating to Ishvara. That is Ishvararpana Buddhi. What does it mean? I am doing this as an order from the Ishvara, as an order of that cosmic being, as a contribution to the cosmic harmony. So that is the thing. Whatever we do, a karma yogi, whatever a man karma yogi does, he is for a cosmic harmony. When he does it for cosmic harmony, it means that he is doing it as an act, as an order from the Lord. So that is the meaning. Ishvare samarpya. Samarpya means he has just offered. So he is offering to the society. He is offering to the cosmic order. That is it. Karmani. Atmanaha phalam anabhisandhaya. So he is not clinging on to the power, say the fruit of that for himself. Suppose he does some yajna. The phalam of yajna is giving some swarga or some such phalam, that positive merit as we call it. Punyam is, we can call it a positive merit. And then papam is something which is a demerit. Papam anyway, this karma yogi is not committing any sinful deed. So there is no question of his acquiring some papam. He is only capable of acquiring some punyam because of his good deeds. Even that punyam he doesn't want, because even that punyam is binding. Punyam also is something like a golden chain. So punyam he doesn't want. So he is doing it only for the welfare of mankind. So that is it. Phalam anabhisandhaya anutishtanti ye te yoginaha. Those who do that, ye anutishtanti te yoginaha. Those who do that, they are called yoginaha. Tairapi paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena. So prapti dvara. Dvara means door. Dvaram. Dvaram is door. English, Sanskritam dvaram is English door. So prapti dvarena means it is a sort of gateway. It is a sort of door to enter that paramartha jnana. That paramartha jnana is paramartha. We know what is paramartha? The supreme goal. Supreme goal is jnanam. Supreme goal is moksham rather. Paramartha prapti, paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena. So that sannyasa we are distinguishing. We are distinguishing sannyasa, paramartha sannyasa from mere ashrama sannyasa. Mere ashrama sannyasa is that vividisha sannyasa which we were talking about. That vividisha sannyasa, a person who is having some sincerity of mind and then who wants to go, take up sannyasa as a sort of preparatory step for jnana nishtha. and then simply it is not enough if he just if he gives up his karmas. A Gruhastha, he has to do various karmas. A Gruhastha does not mean something which is inferior. Gruhastha, in fact, this Gruhasthashrama is actually praised in all the Puranas, in all our works, because it is the Gruhastha who sustains the whole society. It is the Gruhastha who feeds the Brahmachari. It is the Gruhastha who feeds the Sannyasi. And this Brahmachari is an essential component for society. Sannyasi is again a very, very essential component for the society, because he is a sort of role model, a role model for all the virtue and wisdom. So that man, he is supposed to be supported by Gruhastha. Gruhastha does not mean somebody who simply gets married and then he is making money, and then he and his wife, children, grandchildren, they are happy and not giving anything else giving a single rupee to anybody else. Gruhastha is a person who is also doing all the other deeds which are prescribed by the Shastras, that is the Pancha Mahayajnas. Pancha Mahayajnas, we have seen this Atithi Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna. So Atithi Yajna is a very important component. Bhuta Yajna, he is supposed to give food to the animals. He is supposed to give food to all the Atithis. Atithi can be a Brahmachari, he can be a Vanaprastha, he can be a Sannyasi. So these are the types of activities for a Gruhastha. So Gruhamedhi, he is called Gruhamedhi, or a Gruhastha is a person who is a sustainer for all other ashramas. So but then somebody who takes up sannyasa and giving up that Gruhasthashrama, he should not do it just for the sake of escaping from all those duties. He should do it for the purpose of really practicing Shama, Dhamma and all those things, really practicing this Ashtanga Yoga, really get into that Jnana Nishta. He should not do it just for avoidance. It is not an escapist route. Somebody who has got lot many loans, he declares some, IP, insolvency petition he files. So it should not be like that. Sannyasa should not be a type of insolvency petition filed by somebody who wants to escape from the burdens of Grihasthashrama. Sannyasa should be motivated by a real desire to acquire knowledge, to be in that path. So that is one type of Vividisha Sannyasam, as distinguished from Vidvat Sannyasam, that is a Jnani Sannyasam. These shades, various shades of Sannyasa and various shades of Karma Yoga are described here by Lord Krishna. Though Arjuna asked only one question, Lord Krishna is describing, he gave an answer to that question. At the same time, he is adding some more things and then giving, explaining various shades of sannyasa and various shades of karma yoga. So that is it. Paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena gamyate. Gamyate means it is attained. Iti abhiprayah. So that is the abhipraya means, that is the opinion of Lord Krishna. Ataha ekam sankhyan cha yogam cha yah pashyati phalaikatvat. Phalaikatvat. That is phalasya ekatvat. Phalaikatvat means the result of both is one and the same. A Sankhya attains a particular goal. Yogi also slowly, in a rather distant manner, in a very difficult manner. Sankhya, of course, he goes in a path. Yogi also in a rather, it is a sort of detour. In a sort of detour, he also attains that path. So phalaikatvam is there. Phalaikatvam means the same result is attained. The same phala. Phalam means the result, the fruit. The fruit is attained by the same thing. Ekameva phalam. Then phalaikatva sa samyak pashyati ityarthaha. Yah pashyati sapashyati means he is the samyak darshi. Samyak pashyati. He is the person who sees the reality as it is. So that is the meaning. Let us see the next. Still Bhashyam is there. Sambandha, this Avatarika. एवं तर्हि कर्मयोगात् संन्यास एव विशिष्यते कथं तर्हि इदमुक्तं तयोस्तु कर्मसंन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते इति शृणु तत्र कारणम्. A small question Shankaracharya is putting to himself, or rather a small Purvapaksham he is saying, advancing. Evam tarhi, so from what all has been mentioned, Samyak Darshana, what is this Paramartha Sannyasa is something which is supreme. So that is what is very, very clear. Paramartha Sannyasa means Sannyasa along with Jnanam. That is Paramartha Sannyasa. Vividisha Sannyasa is Sannyasa without Jnanam. Isn't it? That should be very clear in our mind. So the question here is, Karma Yoga Sannyasa eva vishishyate. Yes, Karma Yoga in comparison with Karma Yoga, in comparison to Karma Yoga, Sannyasa is supreme. Then how is it that you said that Karma Yoga vishishyate? For the first question, Karma Yoga vishishyate, that is, he is talking about a different sannyasa. That is what Lord Krishna is going to explain. The same thing Shankaracharya is again explaining, only to say clarify the matter more and more. Evam tarhi idamuktam tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate iti shrunu tatra karanam. You mentioned that karma yoga vishishyate, karma yoga is supreme or better. So karma yoga is better, not supreme. Karma yoga is preferable, let us say. Shrunu tatra karanam means, okay, you listen. Then tvaya prushtam kevalam karma sannyasam karma yogam cha abhipretya tayoho anyataraha kashreyan tadanurupam prativachanam maya uktam karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyata iti jnanam anapekshya. So this Jnanam Anapekshya is the important thing here. Jnanam Anapekshya means without taking into consideration Jnanam. Apeksha means, Apeksha is something which is taking into consideration something. Anapeksha, Upeksha rather. Apeksha is something which is desired or which is there. Upeksha is something which is ignored. So Anapekshya means something which is not taking into consideration, something which is not taken into consideration. Jnanam Anapekshya, it was told, that is, just mere sannyasa and karma yoga were compared, not sannyasa with jnana nishta. That is what he is saying. When you asked a question, which is better, whether sannyasa is better or karma yoga is better, I mentioned to you that karma yoga is preferable, that is without taking into consideration the sannyasa with jnana nishta. You follow that? Yes. It is a very simple thing. Tvaya prushtam kevalam karma sannyasam karma yogam cha abhipretya. Kevalam sannyasam. Kevala sannyasa means without jnana. Kevalam means mere. Mere sannyasa without jnana and say karma yoga. Between these two, which is better? So that was your question. Then tayoha anyataraha kashreyan. Between these two, which is better? Then tad anurupam prativachanam maya uktam. In fact, I gave a reply in accordance with the question. Tad anurupam means in accordance with. Tat anurupam. In accordance with your question, I gave a reply. What is that? Karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate iti. That type of empty sannyasa is not better. This karma yoga is better. A sincere karma yoga is much better than empty sannyasa. Now I am talking about, in this particular shloka, I am not talking about empty sannyasa. I am talking about sannyasa with jnana nishta. So that is the meaning here. Karma yoga vishishyata iti jnanam anapekshya. That is without taking into consideration jnanam. Because jnanam, the mere fact that somebody is a sannyasi, it does not mean he is really, say, an enlightened man. He is still in that process. In fact, my teacher, Pullal Ramachandrudu, recently told a story. Very recently, when I was just speaking to him on some subject, he told a story. That is from the Uttara Ramayana. You know Uttara Ramayana? Uttara Ramayana is the last kanda of Ramayana. Ramayana, the first 6 kandas, the 6th kanda, Yuddha kanda, ends with the Pattabhishekam of Sri Rama. Then that Uttara kanda starts. Of course, some scholars say that Uttarakanda was a later edition, it was not written by Valmiki, etc., etc. But anyway, without going into that, from Uttarakanda he told a story. It is like this. Lord Rama, of course, he was the Chakravarti, he was the king, he was the emperor, and then he was very judicious to people. And then his ambition, his anxiety was that everybody should get justice in his stay, in his kingdom. So he also put up a bell or something like that, and then any person, any aggrieved person could come and ring that bell. One day a dog came to Rama's court. The dog also rang the bell and it came to Rama's court. So the Rama naturally he wanted to listen to that dog's complaint. So the dog said, my dear sir, I was beaten by this particular sannyasi without any reason. I did not do anything. I did not even say bark at him. I did not even bite him. I did not do anything. I was just going on my way. He just bit me with a stick. You see the injury, I am bleeding. So the dog has come with a bleeding injury. Then Lord Rama has to do justice. So he asks the same dog, okay, you tell me what is your advice. Okay, he examines that situation, and then he asks the sannyasi also, did you really beat this dog? Sannyasi also said, yes, I beat this dog because I was afraid that it might pounce on me, but it did not do anything. Sannyasi also told the truth. So then some punishment has to be given to sannyasi. So Lord Rama asks the same dog, what is your advice? Then this dog says, okay sir, my dear sir, you please make him the head of so-and-so matam, so-and-so ashrama, you please make him a head of that. Then all the people are surprised. Lord Rama is surprised, and then all the people who are in the court, Rama's court, they are also surprised. Why do you say that this man should be, after all he bet you, and somebody who bet you, you are saying that this man should be made the chief of that particular ashram. Then this dog says, my dear sir, in my Purva Janma, I was the chief of that ashram. And there is so much of politics in that ashram. There is so much of power struggle in that ashram that one has to do all types of misdeeds, all types of say politics he has to play, and then all power play he has to do in order to keep there, and then in order to maintain so many things. He has to make money, and then he has to plan some strategies against this man, that man. So this sort of environment is there. So if you please make him a say chief of that ashram, he will also become a dog like me in the next birth. So Mathapatyam is supposed to be, Mathapatyam is being the head of an ashrama. Of course, I am talking about, it is not true of our own ashrama, our ashramas alone, all over the world. If you see, all over the world, any religious institution, any head is like this only. Very recently, if you see, the head of a very great institution in the world, he resigned. He left, and he left that post and went away. So like that, most of the institutions will be like this. So sannyas ashrama without jnana will be like that. Sannyas ashrama without jnana. So now we are talking about the real sannyas ashrama, real sannyasa. Then jnana apekshastu sannyasah Sankhyamiti Maya Abhipretah Paramartha Yogascha Sayeva. Okay, he says Jnana Apekshastu Sannyasa. Jnana Apeksha means taking into consideration Jnana plus Apeksha. Earlier one was Jnanam Anapekshya. Jnanasya Anapeksha, but here Jnanasya Apeksha. That is taking into consideration Jnana. Along with the Jnana, Sannyasa is something which is called Sankhyam. Iti Maya Abhipretah. That means that was my opinion. That is what I intended. Maya Abhipretah. Paramartha Yogascha Sayeva. So that is exactly the Paramartha Yoga also. A Jnani, in case he does some karma for the sake of Loka Sangraha. A Jnani, if he does karma for the sake of Loka Sangraha, that is for the welfare of mankind, that becomes a Paramartha Yoga too. That is what he says. Paramartha Yogascha Sayeva. Then, yastu karma yogo vaidikaha sacha tadarthyat yogaha sannyasa iti cha upacharyate. So, yastu karma yoga. Yastu, tu means on the other hand, yastu karma yoga, mere karma yoga. Of course, he is doing karma yoga in a very honest, sincere manner. That is karma yogo vaidikaha. Vaidikaha means that which is according to the scriptures. Vaidika means according to Veda. So that is that which is in accordance with the scriptures, in accordance with what is mentioned in the various say Dharma Shastras and all that. Sacha, that also tadarthyat yogaha sannyasah iti cha upacharyate. Tadarthyat means tadarthameva. Tadarthameva means it is also working in the same direction. It is also working for the same goal. Tadartham means working for the same goal. Tat plus artham. Artha is goal. Tadartham is working for the same goal. Tadarthyat is Panchami. Tadarthyat is because it is working for the same goal, it is in a manner of speaking or in a sort of encouraging way. Upachariyate. The word upachariyate has to be noted. Sannyasa iti cha upachariyate. Upachariyate means it is just as a matter of compliment, as just a matter of commendation, just in order to say encourage it, because karma yoga has to be encouraged. Because if you say that karma sannyasa is the only supreme path, then everybody in the society will try to give up duties. People should not give up their duties. Either people will totally ignore Dharma Shastra and say they will be doing only whatever they want in a very, they will indulge in some sort of licentious behavior, or some people they will totally give up karmas and then they will try to be sannyasis. It is not possible. It is not correct also. So there should be people. Society should always have people who are working for the society, because society is a very dynamic engine. This engine has to be supported by some people who are working. And those who work, they have to work with some amount of sincerity and work for the stability of the society. So that is the say point here. So that is why that is sannyasa iti cha upachariyate. It is equated with sannyasa in order to just commend it, in order to say give a compliment to that. So that is the meaning of upachariyate. Then katham tadarthyamit yuchyate. How is it that you can equate these two? How is it that you can equate this karma yoga with sannyasa? So that next shloka. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukham aptumayogatah yoga yukto manirbrahma nachirena adhigacchati. So in this this shloka, it talks about this Paramartha Sannyasa. So Paramarthika Sannyasa, what is this? The meaning is like this. Hey Mahabaho. Hey Mahabaho means, oh mighty armed man. So that is the address. Sannyasa is something which is difficult to be attained. This sannyasa means this Paramarthika Sannyasa. Paramarthika Sannyasa is sannyasa with jnana. So that is very difficult to be attained unless you go through the process of yoga. Yoga means karma yoga. This karma yoga is a process of self-discipline, is a process of purification of mind. So this purification of mind is a very, very useful path. Without this path, it is very, very difficult to go to that stage of jnana. Dukham aptum. Dukham aptum means it is very, very difficult to attain. Apti means attainment. Aptum means in order to attain. Dukham aptum means it is very difficult to attain. Ayogataha. Ayogataha means without yoga. Ayogataha also is in Panchami Vibhakti. Dukham aptum ayogataha. Without this, unaccompanied by this yoga, it is very difficult to attain. Then yoga yukto munihi brahma nachirena adhigacchati. Yoga yuktaha. That is karma yoga yuktaha. Here the meaning of yoga is karma yoga. The first line sannyasa means Paramarthika Sannyasa. You can note down also, because in Gita the problem is we have to be careful with these words. Where a particular word sannyasa, what it means there. Particular word yoga, what exactly it means there. So here the word sannyasa means Paramarthika Sannyasa. In the second line yoga means karma yoga. Karma yoga yuktaha munihi. Karma yoga yuktaha means one who is stabilized in that path of karma yoga. Then munihi. Muni is again significant word here. Muni, what is the meaning of muni? Normally muni means, in all our Telugu movies we see munis with long beards and then with a huge head, say all the tuft of hair and whatnot. He is staying in a forest and then doing some japam and whatnot. That is what we say is muni. The actual meaning of muni is that what we see in films also is correct. There is nothing wrong. Muni means mananat munihi. Mananat. He does mananam. What does he do? What is the mananam he does? Unless he does Shravanam first, there cannot be Mananam. He has to do some Shravanam only. After all, he is doing Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, mere Karma Yoga, there is no Shravanam. So when we see this word Muni also, it implies that in addition to Karma Yoga, he is also doing some Shravanam. He is not merely doing Karma Yoga, he is also doing some Shravanam. He is also going to some Upanishad class or Gita class, and then he is trying to sincerely speculate on, to sincerely meditate on the meaning of those lines. Yoga yukto munihi, mananat munihi. Maunam also is from the same word. Maunam does not mean simple, say, giving rest to the vocal cords. Some people, they observe Maunavratam. Maunavratam is just simply without speaking to, sitting without speaking to anybody. But then they will be writing various slips. They will go somewhere and then they will be meeting people. They will write some slip and give to him. And then that man gives a slip and this man again writes something. That is not Maunavratam. Because his mind is not in this doing any mananam. His mind is very much busy in all the worldly activities. So Maunavratam does not mean simply keeping quiet and then giving rest to the vocal cords, while at the same time the mind is wandering here and there. The mind should not be wandering. Mind should be focused on a particular thing. Mind should be, it is not empty too. It is not empty also. Samadhi, sometimes it can be emptying all the thoughts. But here, in our case, in Vedanta, in the case of context of Vedanta, Mananam actually means your mind will not be empty. Your mind is something like a laser beam focused on a particular way. So that is what we have seen. What is that upasana? Upasanam tu, what is that beautiful description given by Shankaracharya? Taila dharavat tulya pratyaya santatihi. Taila dharavat, I have in the Gita Bhashyam also it mentioned. Suppose you put some, very viscous oil in some vessel and then you slowly pour it. If you pour it, there is a long line. There is a long line, Taila dhara. That long line, that dhara will be there. It is an unbroken dhara. Taila dharavat tulya pratyaya santatihi. The same thought process has to continue. You are suppose meditating on the concept of Brahman. So you are meditating on the meaning of what is Nitya, what is Shuddha, what is Buddha, what is Mukta, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava and whatnot, we utter. So what is the meaning of all these things? Suppose you keep on meditating on that. So that becomes Mauna. Your mind is very active. Your mind is actively focused in that direction only. It is not bothered about your rent bill, current bills and house rent bills and whatnot. Mind is focused on that only. So that is what is called tapas, that is what is called mananam, that is what is called upasana, and that is what is maunam. Mananam, maunam. So the man who does, the person who does it is a muni. Yoga yuktaha munihi brahma achirena adhigacchati. This word brahma also has to be noted here. The meaning, there is a special meaning given to this word brahma. Brahma does not refer to Supreme Brahman. Brahma does not refer to the four-headed Brahma who is the husband of Saraswati. Brahma here means sannyasa. Sannyasa means, he is again giving authority for that. Nyasa iti Brahma, he is quoting from one Upanishad. Sannyasa is equated to Brahma because that is the way, that is the thing which is leading to that Brahma. So that is why that is equated with Brahma. Sannyasa, Brahma. It is equated with Brahma. So that is why Yoga Yukto Munihi Brahma Achirena Adhigacchati. We are now, the context here is about Paramarthika Sannyasa. Paramarthika Sannyasa will be attained by somebody as a Karma Yogi when he is a Muni. That is when he is doing some Shavana, Manana, etc. That man, Achirena, without any delay. Na plus Shirena. Chirena means with delay. Achirena means without delay. Achirena adhigacchati. He will attain. He will attain. Brahma. Brahma means sannyasa. What is that sannyasa? Paramarthika sannyasa. That sannyasa with jnana. He will attain in this particular fashion. So that is the overall meaning of this shloka. Words are also simple. Sannyasaha tu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha. Yoga yuktaha munihi brahma na chirena adhigacchati. Let us read the bhashyam. Sannyasastu paramarthiko dukkham aptum praptum ayogataha yogena vina. Same thing. Hey Mahabaho, sannyasa tu on the other hand, this paramarthika sannyasa, Shankaracharya is clarifying that sannyasa means paramarthika sannyasa. Dukkham aptum ayogataha. Dukkham, it is very difficult to attain. Next, yoga yukto vaidikena karma yogena ishvara samarpita rupena phala nirapekshena yuktaha
फलनिरपेक्षेण
युक्तः
युक्तः
oh your book says yuktena
no sorry युक्तः
okay doesn't matter मुनिहि मननात् ईश्वरस्वरूपस्य मननात् ईश्वरस्वरूपस्य मुनिः ब्रह्म परमात्मज्ञाननिष्ठालक्षणत्वात् प्रकृतसन्न्यासो ब्रह्म उच्यते न्यास इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्म हि परः इति श्रुतेः. So he is quoting one line from this Narayana Upanishad. What is that line? Nyasa iti Brahma, Brahma hi Paraha. That is what he is quoting. Nyasa iti Brahma. Nyasa means that sannyasa. Sannyasa means accompanied by knowledge. That is the Brahma. Means that is what is supreme. That is what is leading to the Brahma. Then Brahma hi Paraha. That is that sannyasa is supreme. Brahma here again means supreme. The sannyasa is Paraha. That is supreme. So that is the Shruti, Narayana Upanishad. He is quoting. Then he says, Vaidikena yogena yuktaha. Vaidikena yogena we just saw. Vaidikena karma yogena in accordance with the Vedic injunctions. Ishvara samarpita rupena phala nirapekshena yuktaha. Again he is clarifying. That is, as per the Ishvara, he is doing it with, as a sort of Ishwararpana buddhi, phalanirapekshena, without any, clinging for the fruit of that action. Then munihi mananad Ishvara swarupasya munihi. So, Ishvara swarupasya mananat munihi. So, he is doing mananam on what? On Ishvara swarupa. He is doing mananam. Mananam means meditation. Manana. Manas is my mind, mananam, just keeping it in the mind, isn't it? What is he doing? He is doing, who is doing it on? Ishvara Swarupa. Ishvara means the Lord, Supreme Lord. Here Ishvara we can take it as Brahma. And there is no other meaning. Ishvara Swarupa is, here we are in the context of Vedanta. Ishvara means the Supreme Brahman only. So for this gentleman, he is engaged in that Brahma Mananam. He is engaged in that knowing about the supreme truth. So because of that he is called Munihi. Paramatma Jnana Nishtha Lakshanatvat Prakrutaha Sannyasah Brahma Uchyate. Prakrutaha Sannyasah means the sannyasa which we are talking in this context. Prakrutaha Sannyasa. Prakruta means in this context. Prakrutaha Sannyasah, the sannyasa which we are talking in this context. What type of sannyasa is it? Paramatma Jnana Nishtha Lakshanatvat. This sannyasa is something which is characterized by this Paramatma Jnana. This sannyasa is something which is characterized by Paramatma Jnana Nishtha. It is not deviating here and there. It is not something like that that dog's story in Ramayana. It is not that type of sannyasa where he has to manage so many funds. He has to manage so many bank accounts. He has to manage so many people. It is not like that. Here we are talking about Paramatma Jnana Nishtha only. This gentleman, he has abandoned all those things. He is only stationed himself in that awareness, that is existence awareness, in that position, and he may be doing some actions, and then his actions, they don't belong to him. That is what we are going to see in the next shloka. Iti shrutehe Brahma Paramartha Sannyasam Paramatma Jnana Nishtha Lakshanam Nachirena Kshiprameva Adhigacchati Prapnoti Ataha Maya Uktam Karma Yogo Vishishyata iti. So this gentleman, Brahma Paramartha Sannyasam Paramatma Jnana Nishtha Lakshanam. Again he is clarifying, just repeating for clarification. This Paramartha Sannyasa which is characterized by this Paramatma Jnana, Achirena Kshiprameva Adhigacchati. So this gentleman who is stationed in Karma Yoga, Achirena, without any delay, he will acquire that state. So that is why I told Maya Atayeva Maya Bhuktam Karma Yoga Vishishyate. That is the reason why I said Karma Yoga is better. Karma Yoga associated with Shravana Manana etc. is much better than mere sannyasa. That is the reason why I told like that. Then next, Yoga iti.
Yoga iti.
Let us read the next shloka. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
vijitatma jitendriyah
Jitatma jitendriyah.
sarvabhutatma bhutatma
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
kurvannapi na lipyate.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
So here we are talking about a jnani. So this jnani, he has come through a long process of karma yoga and manana, or karma yoga and say a practice of ashtanga yoga, because here there are two meanings given by the commentators for the word yoga. The first word says yoga yuktaha. Yoga yuktaha means yogena yuktaha, one who is stationed in that yoga, positioned in that yoga. What is that yoga? One commentator has said karma yoga. Then in fact Madhusudana Saraswati has said Bhagavadarpana phalabhisandhirahityadi gunayuktam shastriyam karma yoga uchyate. So a person who has taken up sannyasa, mere sannyasa, and then Bhagavadarpana phalabhisandhirahityadi gunayuktam, then he is also, whatever he is doing it as a Bhagavadarpana buddhi, phalabhisandhirahitam, shastriyam karma yoga uchyate. So he is referring to say karma yoga here. Then another gentleman says, Yogena, that is Nilakantha Vyakhya, Yogena Nirvikalpa Samadhina Yuktaha Yoga Yuktaha. So he is referring to that Ashtanga Yoga. So we can take any meaning here, it does not matter, because it does not contradict with the ultimate Siddhanta. It does not contradict with the ultimate idea of what is Jnanam and what is Karma. So Yoga Yuktaha, either it can mean Karma Yogi, or it can mean an ashrama sannyasi, a sannyasi who has graduated to be a jnani after following this yama niyama adi ashtanga yoga. So that is the meaning here. Yoga yuktaha. Then vishuddhatma. Vishuddhatma means atma, again it is used here twice, thrice rather. Vishuddhatma, vijitatma. That atma is vishuddha. Then Vijitatma, then again Atma is Vijita, that is he has conquered his Atma. What does it mean? The first Atma means Vishuddha Antahkarana. You can note down Vishuddha Antahkarana, where there he is referring to his Antahkarana. Then Vijitatma, that is here it means Deha, Dehendriya Sanghata. Vijitatma, he is referring to the body. The next word he is referring to is Jitendriya, Indriya. So he is say categorizing into three parts. One is Antahkarana, another is Deha, the other is Indriyas. Because if you want to control your body and Indriyas, you have to control your mind first. That is what is Shama. Shama is Antarindriya Nigraho Shamaha. Dama is mere Bahyendriya Nigraha. There are two words, Shama and Dama. Shama is, Dama means mere Bahyendriya Nigraha. So you see, look at somebody or something rather, and then you want it, but then say you just control yourself, because it is not safe. If you want, suppose you see something beautiful and you want to snatch it, you can't snatch it. If you want to snatch it, the shopkeeper will beat you, or he will catch you and hand you over to police. So but you physically control yourself, so that is called Dhamma. But Shama is something where Antahkarana is itself purified. Antahkarana is purified, and that thought itself will not arise. So that is the level of Shama. In fact, the word Shanti also, in fact I also mentioned earlier, Shanti comes from the same root Shama. That is, Antarindriya Nigraha is Shama. That is something which is, it is something which is not enforced. A peace which is not enforced by some UN peacekeeping force. Suppose there is some battle which is going on. The United Nations, they send some United Nations peacekeeping force, UN PK, something like the PKF or something like that. So the peacekeeping force need not be there, because this Antahkarana, when you don't have a will to fight, you don't have a desire to fight, there is no need for somebody else to come and do that peacekeeping there. Dhamma means peacekeeping is required. So unless that peacekeeping force is there, these people, they will not stop quarreling. So that is a sort of crude example we can take. So Shama is Shanti. The very meaning of word Shanti is where Antarindriya Nigraha is there. So that is why we say Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. That is, that Shanti is something which is not an enforced, it is not something which is enforced, but it is something which is coming from inside. Then, where are we? Vishuddhatma. So, Antahkarana is something which has to be controlled first. If this is controlled, then naturally the body will be controlled. Vijitatma, the body will be conquered. In the sense, Vijita. Jita means that which has been conquered, that which is under control, that is Vijita. Jitendriya, he has conquered his indriyas. All the Bahyendriyas, they will not go out. Once his mind is under control, body and indriyas will not go out. Then, Sarvabhuta Atma Bhutatma. So, this is a very, very powerful expression. Very powerful means very significant and very dense expression. Sarvabhuta Atma Bhuta Atma. So, there is, say, some Pratyak Chetana, that word he is going to say, Shankaracharya is going to use that word Pratyak Chetana. There is some innate Chetana or Chaitanyam in every being we see. In everything we see around, there is Chaitana. This Jnani, he is a man who knows, who realizes that this Chaitana which is in him is the same as the Chaitanyam or consciousness which is there in every other being. So the same Chaitanya becomes the Upadanam. This becomes the material cause for the Chaitanya, for all other beings also. So that is it. If you take the example of the wave and the ocean. So the wave realizes that it is nothing but the ocean. Wave realizes that it is water, and then suppose the ocean is very calm, there is no wave at all. Only when the ocean is not calm, there are some waves. Suppose the wave merges with the ocean and the ocean is quite calm. So the wave realizes that it is nothing but water. So it is something like that. Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma is something like that wave which realizes that it is nothing other than huge mass of water, that is the ocean. So likewise, this gentleman, he knows or he realizes, not merely at an intellectual level, but he feels it. What is it called? Aparoksha Anubhuti. Aparoksha means it is neither Pratyaksha nor Paroksha. So that is what is called Aparoksha. Pratyaksha means something which is seen by the Indriyas. The difference between Pratyaksha and Aparoksha is, Pratyaksha is something which is seen by the Indriyas. Paroksha is something which is not seen by the Indriyas. But here it is Aparoksha. Aparoksha means it is not seen by the Indriyas, but it is felt. It is felt. So that is Aparoksha Anubhuti. So he has an Aparoksha Anubhuti that he is nothing but that existence and consciousness. And this is the principle which is there in everything all around. Sarvabhuta Atma Bhuta Atma. So whatever is Atma Bhuta means that which is becoming the Atma of everybody else. He is the same as his own thing, his own Atma. He is the same thing which is the Atma of everybody. So that is Sarvabhuta Atma Bhutatma. Of course, Shankaracharya's lines we will again read and explain. Atma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate. This is again important. Kurvannapi na lipyate is, though he is doing, Kurvannapi na lipyate. Kurvannapi, you understand? Kurvan means even if he is doing, even if he is engaged in doing all types of activity, he is surrounded by activities. A Jnani can be totally surrounded by activities. A Jnani may be fully in the midst of activities, but still he is untouched by all that. So that is it is basically a state of mind. Jnani is a state of mind where he may be surrounded by activities. Activity will be there, but the actor is not there. So there are three things, that is existence and consciousness, awareness. Existence is one. He is there. Existence is very much there. Consciousness is very much there. Action is there. Existence and consciousness are Atma Dharmas. They are there in that Brahman. Atma Dharma, that is Atma Self, or that Brahman, one and the same. So Brahma, what are the Brahma Dharmas? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Existence and consciousness, they are there. So these two things are Atma Dharmas. But work, action is not Atma Dharma. Action is the Dharma of Prakriti, isn't it? Action is the Dharma of Prakriti, where Prakriti is creating. Prakriti has created all these Indriyas. All these Indriyas are created by this Prakriti only. So from this indriyas which have been created by this Prakriti, though they go after the same things which are there in the Prakriti. So this body-mind complex is engaged in activity. So a jnani is one in whom there is action. There can be an action, lot of actions. He may be fully in the middle of actions, but then there is no actor. We have seen it earlier also in the case of Janaka and others, where a jnani can be doing action, but he is not touched by the fruit of that action. So kurvannapi na lipyate. Lipyate means, you know what is called lepanam. Lepanam is a paste. Suppose you have got some bodily pain. Ayurvedic shop, they give an Ayurvedic lepanam. Or lehyam is different, lepanam is different. Lepanam is something which is a paste. So you have to apply that paste, that lepanam. So lipyatem is something which is not stuck to you, which is not glued to you, which doesn't, which is not glued to you or which will not touch you. So that means he is not touched by all these by the fruit of all these actions. So that is the meaning. So the words are Yoga Yuktaha, Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriyaha, Sarvabhuta, Atmabhuta, Atma. This phrase, we will read Shankaracharya's words in order to go more deeply into that. Sarvabhuta, Atmabhutatma, Kurvannapi Nalipyate. Let us read the Bhashyam. Yada Punarayam, Samyak Darshana Praptyupayatvena, Yogena Yuktaha, Vishuddhatma Vishuddha Sattvaha, Vijitatma Vijita Deho, Jitendriyascha, Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma, Sarvesham Brahmadinam. Okay, this Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma will come later. So, yada punarayam samyak darshana praptyupayatvena yogena yuktaha. Again he is saying, this yoga he is practicing as an upaya for samyak darshana. Yoga, karma yoga is being practiced as an upaya or a strategy for attaining this jnana yoga or samyak darshana or proper understanding. Then this person, Vishuddhatma, in the process of that karma yoga, along with this say Ashtanga yoga and whatnot, he becomes a Vishuddhatma. He attains, he is Antahkarana. His mind is purified. Antahkarana is purified. Then Vijita Sattva, that meaning is Vishuddha Sattvaha. Visheshena Shuddham Sattvam Yasya Saha. Vishuddha Sattvaha. That is his Sattva, his Antahkarana is totally purified. He has no ill will, he has no Raga Dvesha, his Antahkarana is very, very clear. He is gone beyond the Dvandvas, let us say. Then that man, Vijitatma Vijita Deha. The second meaning of the second word Atma means Deha. The first word Atma means Antahkarana. In the second word Atma means Deha. Vijitatma Vijita Deha. So his body is under control. Then Jitendriyascha. Jitendriya means Jitani Indriyani Yasya Saha. All the limbs, all the say the senses are under senses and sense organs are controlled. For this, Madhusudana Saraswati gives another, he adds an interesting line. Such a man, he is called a Tridandi. We have heard of the word Tridandi. Tridandi, so and so, Swami, etc. we hear. So he gives the meaning of that Tridandi. He says, Jitendriyaha Swavashikruta Sarva Bhyahendriyaha. He says, Vagdandotha Manodandaha Kayadandas Tathaivacha. Vagdanda, Kayadanda, Manodanda. There are three dandas. Danda means that which has to be, that which controls. What is it? Vak danda. Vak is indriyam. Vak is an indriyam, isn't it? So that means it is referring to not only vak but all other indriyas. Vak danda. Then Manodanda. The mind is under control. Mind also is to be controlled. Kaya danda. Kaya means sharira, body. Vagdanda. Vagdanda not only refers to vak but other senses also. Then Manodanda, Indriya and Antahkarana. Then Kaya Danda, this Deha. Vagdanda, Manodanda and Kaya Danda. All the three dandas are controlled. He is called Tridandi. Yasya yete niyata dandaha sa Tridandi iti kathyate. These three danda are by whoever controls these three things, whoever has these three things under control, Yasyaite niyata dandaha sa Tridandi iti kathyate. So he is called a Tridandi. A Tridandi, if you say somebody is a Tridandi, He should not be talking, say, ill about anything. He has controlled his walk. He has controlled his senses. Not only walk, he has controlled his senses. His mind is under control. His body is under control. So that is the meaning of Tridandi. So in other words, what we call Trikarana Shuddhi. We normally use the other word Trikarana Shuddhi. So he is the person. Then Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma
सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा
सर्वेषां ब्रह्मादीनां स्तंभपर्यन्तानां
सर्वेषां ब्रह्मादीनां स्तंभपर्यन्तानां
भूतानां आत्मभूत आत्मा
भूतानां आत्मभूत आत्मा
प्रत्यक्चेतनः
प्रत्यक्चेतनः
यस्य स सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा.
सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा.
So here you see one word called pratyakchetanah. Pratyak means inside. Pratyak and parak are two words which we have to remember. Paranchi khani vyatrunat swayambhu, we are going to get in what is this Kathopanishad. Paranchi khani. Indriyas, all the indriyas are outward bound. They are extroverts, let us say. Paranchi, parak is external. Pratyak is inside. Pratyagatma, let us say, what is this Pratyagatma? Pratyagatma means inside. That is Pratyak. Pratyak Chetana, that Chetana or Chaitanyam, that consciousness which is inside one, that Pratyak Chetana. So, Sarvesham Brahmadinam Stamba Paryantanam Bhutanam Atma Bhutaha Atma. That which is the core, Atma Bhutaha, that which is becoming the Atma, that which is becoming the self, that which is becoming the self of all Bhutas. All Bhutas means Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam. Starting from that Brahma, Brahma means not that Supreme Brahma. Supreme Brahman is something which is, which is beyond creation, isn't it? Here, we are referring to created Brahma, that is Karya Brahma, the four-headed Brahma who is the husband of Saraswati. Let us describe like that. So, starting from that first Brahma, the creator Brahma, let us say, the creator Brahma, Brahmadinam Stamba Paryantana. Stamba, we know. What is a Stamba? A small blade of grass. A small blade of grass is called Stamba. Not Stambham. Stamba is a pillar. Stamba is a small stem. Let us say stem, a small stem. It is not even a stem here, it is a small blade of grass. Starting from that creator Brahma down to a small blade of grass and down to some small amoeba or whatever it is. Then Sarva Samba Paryantanam Bhutanam Atma Bhutaha Atma. Atma Bhutaha means that which has become the Atma, that which has become the core, that which has become the essence of all these things. Right from Brahma, that four-headed Brahma, down to what is this blade of grass or an amoeba. What is Atma Bhutam? What is the core? What is the essence? It is Chaitanya. Pratyak Chaitanya. Isn't it? What is it that is a common factor in all these things? The common factor in all these things, right from the cosmic being down to a small amoeba, is say the Chaitanya, existence and Chaitanya, existence and consciousness. So these are the things. So Pratyak Chetanaha Yasya. So Brahmadinam Stamba Paryantanam Bhutanam Atma Bhutaha means that which has become the core. Atma Bhutaha. Atma Bhuta, we have to understand the word. Atma Bhuta means that which has become the core, that which is the essence. Atma Bhuta. Bhuta does not mean anything else. Bhuta means, Atma Bhuta means that which has become the core or that which is the core. Atma Pratyak Chetanaha Yasya Saha. That Pratyak Chetana, that Chaitanya which is there inside all these things, that gentleman is Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhutatma. One who realizes that whatever existence, consciousness is in him is the same as the existence and consciousness in all other things in the whole cosmos. So he is Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. What does it mean? That he is somebody who treats all other beings with great love and affection. He treats all other things with with the same love and with the same importance as he treats himself. He is somebody who has a love for everything else, who serves everybody else, who feels that he is a part. He is nothing but he is part and parcel of the cosmos. He is something who has to work for the cosmos. So that is the type of feeling, that is the type of stage in which he is there. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Samyak Darshi Ityartha. Samyak Darshi means one who has a proper understanding. Ityartha. Sa Tatraivam Vartamanaha Lokasangrahaya Karma Kurvannapi
लोकसंग्रहाय कर्म कर्मन्
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते
न लिप्यते
न कर्मभिर्बध्यते इत्यर्थः.
न कर्मभिः बध्यते इत्यर्थः.
So he is a man. Evam vartamanaha. Evam vartamanaha means one who is going on like this. Vartamanaha means vartamana. Vartate dhatu vartate means that which is existing in a way. Vartamanaha means existing in a particular manner or living in a particular manner. Evam vartamanaha, one who is staying in that manner, in this particular state of mind. Lokasangrahaya karma kurvannapi, which means he is doing some karma for the sake of lokasangraha. Lokasangraha we know. Lokasya unmarga pravrutti nivaranam lokasangraha was the meaning given by Shankaracharya in an earlier passage. That is, you have to be a role model for others. You have to be a role model only to see that other people do not go astray. Unless there is a proper direction, unless there is a proper leadership. In fact, this is a very important issue. Actually, even in the spiritual field, there is a need for spiritual leadership. If there is no proper religious spiritual leadership, people will go astray. People will have all types of funny ideas about what is our religion, all funny ideas about what is karma, all funny ideas about what is God. So that is the tragedy of Hinduism today also, because we have no organized structure as such, and then the spiritual leaders, those who are there in very high places, unfortunately they are so detached from the world, they are so totally away from, they are so totally unaware of the social change, let us say. They are totally aloof and then away from, cut off from the social milieu, that there is no guidance given to the society. So, but a jnani is also supposed to do some lokasangrahartham karma. He can do some action, not supposed to do, he can certainly do. Lokasangrahartham karma kurvannapi. He is a man who is supposed to lead the society in a proper direction. Lokasangrahartham karma kurvannapi na lipyate na karmabhir badhyata ityartha. He is not bound by these karmas. So that is the meaning. If the time is over, we will read in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.